Average store prices for common foods have increased for the past 5 years. These goods like eggs, ground beef, and bacon, they've all gone up. Eggs are at a whopping $2 more on average until prices trend downward. What are some budget-friendly foods that we can swap out in place of eggs that are still high in protein and healthy? Dr. Natasha Bhuyan, National Medical Director of One Medical, is here. I mean, when you're looking at eggs on sale for at least $4 a dozen, I mean, it's like, whoa, we got to pump the brakes on eating eggs, right? So what are some good alternatives?
Right, and you know, people love eggs because eggs are a good source of high quality protein, which means eggs have all 9 essential amino acids. And we want those amino acids because they're the building blocks for things like our bones and muscles. But there are good alternatives that are cheaper.
Yeah.
Dried beans, I love. Really cheap, $2 per pound. And dried beans come with not only protein, they also come with fiber. So they can help you feel full sooner, they can help you with weight loss. They've also got things like folate and magnesium. So beans actually do help with your muscles as well.
Yeah.
Tofu is another one. Great
I love
source
tofu.
of protein. It's a great
Troy
source.
doesn't as much, but I love tofu. I mix it with a lot.
And you can make tofu scrambles rather than
Yes.
scrambled eggs. Nice thing about tofu, it's also low in cholesterol, so it's really good for having a healthy heart. The other thing I remind people is protein sources that come from dairy. So things like cottage cheese, low-fat Greek yogurt. I love both of those because the ratio is really high of proteins to calories. So if you look at cottage cheese, we've got 19 grams of protein in about 5 ounces, so that is wonderful. Another bucket is nuts. Now, nuts are what people know, healthy fats, antioxidants, they're great. The price of nuts is really variable. And so peanuts are the cheapest. Buying in bulk makes a difference. And this is really funny. There is a calculator. You can calculate the cost per nut by kind of entering like the bulk pricing. So if you want to compare nut prices, that's one way to go. And then that last category is a lot of people use eggs for cooking and baking. And there's a lot of subs here. So you can use things like flaxseed, chia seeds, hemp as well.
I think I've heard even applesauce.
Yeah, so those are good binders. And then applesauce is like the classic baking sub, so it can create like moist cakes. Mashed potatoes is another, mashed bananas is another sub.
Mashed potatoes.
Well, mashed bananas is another sub. The only problem with the bananas is like sometimes you have a hint of banana in the thing that you're baking. But there's a lot of subs that you can use that are definitely cheaper and they don't break the bank and they're still healthy.
Okay, how about though, if you really want eggs, then what?
Yeah, I've had patients ask me this because they love eggs. Like, they just love them. And so, of course, if you spot a great deal and you can buy in bulk, that's great. That's what we usually do. The problem with eggs is that they obviously are perishable.
Yeah, they go
Now,
bad.
a lot of people don't know you can freeze eggs. Now,
I've heard that. How do you freeze the eggs?
Yeah, you can't just freeze it in its shell. You need to actually whisk it, take it out of its shell. And that's because the yolk doesn't have any water, so it would freeze as a gel. But if you whisk it, you can actually put it in little ice cube trays and then pop out the amount of egg that you need to use. So that's one little tip and trick. The other thing is making your shelf life of the egg last longer. So if you put it in the back of your fridge, that can help it last longer.
And sometimes when I do that, it kind of freezes a little bit on the inside when you're cracking it open.
Open it up, so you want to keep it in the cold.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure if your egg is good, one tip is to dunk it in water. So if it sinks, it's fine. If it's floating, that means you've got air pockets in the egg and the quality is probably not as fresh. But I think shopping around for those deals so you can buy in bulk when you see it.
I'll be honest with you. It actually, I even use it after the Best
Oh,
Buy.
it's okay. I do too. Yeah, you can go back. You can go past the expiration date as long as you kind of stored it nicely in the fridge.
Okay, real quick, what are some good healthy swaps for more expensive foods?
Yeah, so in addition to eggs, I think we're seeing meat prices are going up, cereals and sugars. And so, I mean, hear me out here. Portobello mushrooms over beef. You can actually put those in tacos. It does taste well if you season it. And then I love doing things like turkey sausage over bacon, less cholesterol,
and better
saturated fats. It's healthier and it's also cheaper. And then people forget frozen vegetables. Those are really great to use. And they often actually preserve their nutritional content because frozen vegetables are harvested and frozen shortly after. And so there's good nutrition there. So there's a couple of different swaps people can try out. And of course, the other big one, because cereal prices are going up, cereal is just packed with sugar. And so I tell people reach for oats instead.
Okay. I buy the bran and then my kids are like, I'm not eating cereal. So that's one way to like just wean them off.
Do some oats, do some fruits. You can still get a nice breakfast in the morning.
Okay, good stuff, Natasha. Thank you.